Mustang looking like a Tesla all plugged in. Street car though. So guys, we are back from TX2K20. It was an awesome event, such an awesome time. Unfortunately, spectators weren't allowed. There was only Racers Media VIP allowed because of the coronavirus. Everyone freaking out about it. So you're not allowed to have more than a certain amount of people at an event. But the car is back in Amarillo, Texas. We made it back yesterday. We're back to work on it today. If you guys don't know, I had a bunch of front suspension stuff come in that I was trying to get on the car before TX2K, and just obviously with all the issues we had, we just ran out of time. The car qualified really slow. It's not my fault. I mean, partially it's my fault. Obviously, the tune-up in the car, the tire pressure, the shocks, whatever, everything just was set up wrong. We blew the tires off, ran a 920, ended up running in a 9-second class because that's what the car qualified for. I wanted to qualify in the class above that, but that's what we qualified in. So we turned the car down, we raced in the class that the car fit in, and we ended up winning, which was fun. But this car is meant to go a lot faster, and I want to go a lot faster with it. So we are back working on it today. I do have a small leak on the oil return line, so I'm going to change the fitting out. I'm going to get the turbo off, change the fitting, make sure everything's tight, but I'm not going to work on that quite yet. I do have the BMR suspension cradle. If you guys want anything from BMR, this thing is literally the best deal ever. It saves 36 pounds. It's half the price of the competitor, but you can use my code VANV39, bmrsuspension.com. Comes with all the hardware. Boom. Also, Viking coilovers, make sure you hit them up. They make some super nice products. I have Viking Crusader shocks in the rear, and now we've got the Viking front double adjustable coilovers. I've already talked to Viking about the settings we're going to use, and then John Lund Jr. has also helped me out on some settings. Got some fresh oil, got some anti-seize that we're going to put on the coilovers, because obviously you want to put anti-seize on this because it's just metal on metal, and eventually this stuff will get rusted out from adjusting them all the time and from weather conditions. So pretty much the goal today or this week is to get the car jacked up, get the wheels off, start installing the coilovers, do the cradle, fix the turbo leak, because this weekend we do have a private track rental in Dallas pending the weather. Hopefully the weather stays good, but there's a private track rental this weekend in Dallas, TJ Bailey event, and T&E Promotions. They always have really awesome track prep. The weather should be good as long as it doesn't rain. I get that stuff done on the car in preparation for this week. I do have, I don't know where they're at, but I do have some Motion Raceworks limiters for the car. We need to get those on. So really, I got to get this stuff on within the next 2 days and get the car back to Joe's so that he can weld the limiters on. Here they are, actually, sitting right on the table. So if you guys don't know what these are, let's see if I can open it with one hand here. These are some chain limiters. Obviously, they make different styles, different brands, but these are chain limiters. And essentially, we're gonna have to weld these brackets up, and then one side will go to the lower arm, I believe, and then one side goes to the actual frame of the car. But anyways, what you can do is adjust the travel. Now, this is pretty common in like Jeeps. If you guys know, I started with Jeeps back in the day, but you use this to limit your travel when you're off-roading. Kind of the same concept here. You're limiting the travel of the front. So if the track is not good and you need to transfer a lot of weight to the back, you keep it loose in the front. If the track's there, keep the front end nice and tight. That way you don't wheelie. So these are obviously a pretty easy install, but you have to have someone weld the brackets in. So we got to get all this other stuff done, and then we'll get the car over to Joe's. So let's get right to it. All right, guys, so there is the stock style strut with just some BMR drag springs on there. Like I said, they worked out good for the car, but it was starting to wheelie, and with throwing more power at it, trying to get better 60 foots, obviously it's going to want to wheelie even more. And so we did replace them, or we're going to replace them with the Viking coilovers. I already assembled this one just to kind of see how it goes together, but like I said, I got to take it off and put some anti-seize on it. But we'll get that one set up. We'll have to play with the ride height a little bit to get it perfect to where it's not sitting too low or sitting too high, but they're pretty easy to take off. The two lower bolts are kind of a pain. You got to hit them with a little mini sledgehammer to get them out because they've got these little threads on them to get them out, but honestly, pretty easy to get them out. And we're going to start putting some anti-seize, reassemble these, and we'll get them on the car. All right, so we got the new Viking coilovers in there. Just got to put the wheels on, and we're going to check the ride height, and then we can adjust it. It's really easy with these spanner wrenches to adjust the height. So I'm just going to put the wheels back on, drop it on the ground, and then we can start measuring for the height and kind of mess with it and get it right where we want it. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So, with all of this stuff that's going on, I actually had a private rental, not a completely private rental, but it was a smaller test and tune session at the Texas Motorplex with TJ Bailey and about, I think, 14 other cars. I think they were doing 15 cars. So, unfortunately, that one got canceled because of everything that's going on. They can't do groups that big. They were just going to keep it at 15 people with one crew member, but like I said, they can't do that stuff right now. So it's making it really hard to get to the track. Obviously, all racing has been canceled because you can have no events. We had to cancel our flashlight shootout, which was really depressing, but with everything that's going on in the world, that's kind of the least worry right now. So we'll get back to racing soon, hopefully, but since the car still has a very new setup, as you guys saw, TX2K, you know, we won our class, but we didn't go as fast as we wanted to, didn't do anything that I really wanted to with the car numbers-wise, but that's kind of the point of testing and tuning. So actually there is a test and tune session, really private, only 25 cars. They're allowing one person, but it's in Oklahoma. So Oklahoma, what's going on right now isn't as bad as Texas, so the rules are a little less lenient, or a little more lenient, sorry, than the Motorplex. So we're test and tuning tomorrow, Oklahoma City. It's raining right here, it's raining right now in Amarillo, but supposedly in Oklahoma, the weather's good. I'm gonna check the weather in the morning right before we leave, but it's a pretty inexpensive test session, and it's only 25 people now. I don't know how good the prep is gonna be. It is kind of like a normal test and tune. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better than a regular test and tune with, you know, some, probably no street tires or things like that will be eating up the track. So hopefully the track is pretty good. But anyways, we gotta get the car back together. I took the car apart. Obviously, we did front coilovers. We were going to do limiters. Once again, ran out of time. Just been doing a lot of stuff with everything that's going on. So ran out of time to do the limiters. So the front coilovers are on. I fixed an oil leak. The oil return line on the turbo was leaking. I retightened that, but I had to take a bunch of stuff off to do that. So hopefully that's good to go. I'm going to start the car here in just a second. Just get the fluids running through it. Check the gas, because I'm supposed to get some 1 ethanol barrels here soon. I just haven't placed the order because of everything that's going on. I don't want to buy a bunch of fuel and have it just sitting around. So I've got about 6 to 7 gallons left of the 1 ethanol, and then I want to see how much is left in the car, but we should be good for tomorrow's test session. So enough of me talking. Let's get the car started. Well, guys, we were about halfway to Oklahoma City, actually Noble, where Thunder Valley's at, and they canceled it. I even checked my maps and the weather, and nothing. But I guess it's raining there. So they had already canceled before all this crap that's going on right now happened. They had actually already canceled Fridays. They had a race Friday and Saturday there. They had already canceled that just because it was raining so bad and they knew it was on the forecast. And then this test and tune thing came about, and there was actually a race today. I think like Import Face-Off was actually supposed to be today at Thunder Valley, and they canceled that because of what's going on in the world right now. And then they decided they could do a small test session with only 25 cars. You only bring 1 crew member to keep it small. And literally halfway there, I happened to check the Facebook post, because this morning I knew that it had been raining, so I checked my weather app this morning. We looked good, everything was good. And this morning someone commented on the Facebook post and said, hey, it's raining here, is this still gonna go on? And so sure enough, I messaged the guy that's running it. He's like, yeah, I'm waiting to hear back in a few minutes, and I guess it's still raining pretty good there, plus it's really cloudy and there's no sun, so even if it stops raining, it's gonna be really hard for the track to actually dry out, especially because it's been raining for the past 2 days, so that sucks. Yeah, I was really excited to test the car out with the coilovers, but it gives me time now to do the BMR cradle or BMR K member, because I still need to do that, and then I can do the limiters, because actually, as long as the weather's good, we've rented out Amarillo dragway this weekend, because we're supposed to have the flashlight shootout on Saturday, so a few of us, including someone, which I don't want to name his name, because you guys will be really excited when you find out that he's testing his car in Amarillo this weekend. That'll be awesome. But anyways, we're supposed to run out Amarillo on Saturday, I believe. So I'm gonna get the BMR K member. I'm gonna do the limiters. I'm probably gonna do an alignment and clean up a few other things that I wanted to do. And that way it's good for Amarillo. Now, I'm not gonna run any record passes in Amarillo. The DA is like 5,000 to 6,000 right now, this time of year. And the track is definitely not as good as a track out of town. That's just, Amarillo is known as more of like a slick type track. I mean, you can get down on a radial, but you ain't going as fast as you could at another track. So it's really just more for testing and getting the car dialed in and stuff like that. And I want to get more test passes on the car. So this video definitely did not go as planned, right, Kennedy?
Right, David.
Dang. So I don't know what this video is going to turn into, but we are turning around, headed back to Amarillo. Luckily, we didn't drive all the way to the track, so I think it's about 4.5 hours exactly when you get to the track. So we're about halfway. We've driven about a little over 2 hours, so not too bad. Unfortunately, that's just part of it. That's what happens, and that's the risk you take when you go racing. But we'll see where this video takes us. Alright guys, since we didn't end up going racing, we are doing some projects. Well, Kennedy's painting some chairs for some friends, and I'm going to install the BMR K member today. So, got the mounts already on there. Yeah, we're going to start pulling the front end off a little bit and get the BMR K member on there. So, it's honestly not too bad of an install. Pretty much just got to remove all the suspension arms. Oh, it's dark. Sorry. Pretty much just got to remove all the suspension arms. Unfortunately, I moved the radiator like way up, so we're going to have to make a new radiator bracket, and then the air-to-water intercooler, the Aldo welds. Joe made a custom bracket that went to the front of the K member, but the new BMR does not have a bar that goes across, and it's not that far forward. So we're going to make a new bracket for the air-to-water just to make sure that's supported, but pretty much I'm just loosening everything up so we can start dropping it here pretty soon. Got the trans supported. I'll probably put something under the engine as well, and see if we can get this out of here. I don't think the garage has ever been this messy, but I've been working on trying to get the BMR K member in the car. You guys saw I tried to go to the Texas Motorplex rental. That got canceled because of what's going on. I drove halfway to Oklahoma City to go to a rental. That got canceled actually due to the weather, but now I just saw that they're canceling anything that's going on. So pretty much literally everything has been canceled. Can't even get a private rental going on right now with how much is going on. But anyways, I've got plenty of things to do on the car, so that'll kind of keep some content going. I've got some other stuff planned. But anyways, I've got the BMR K member in there, but the BMR K member does lower the engine about 1/2 inch. But with the turbo system and how we've got the Maven mount and everything, we can't lower the engine at all. So I'm waiting on, you can kind of see the BMR K member down there. It's pretty cool. It frees up a ton of space. Couple things to note. The radiator, I moved it way forward so you can see the gap. We've got to make a new radiator bracket, and then the Aldo weld air-to-water that's down there, we've got to make a new bracket that goes to that, to the BMR K member to support it, because it used to go on the front side of the stock K member. If you guys haven't seen a stock K member, look at how ridiculous that is. So that's the stock K member. You can see why the BMR one saves a ton of weight. But like I said, there's tons of things I need to get done on the car anyways, so this gives me some time to do some mods. But the reason why the BMR K member is not done is because I'm waiting on some spacers from Dion to actually space the K member correctly so that the engine doesn't drop a 1/2 inch. So once I get those in, I'll follow up on that so you guys can see what the K member looks like all completed. But pretty much that's what I'm waiting on. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there. Comment down below what you guys think. And like I said, if you guys need anything from BMR Suspension, you can use my code VANV39. Doesn't matter what route you're going with your car, I would delete this thing. This is massive and very unnecessary. I do believe, so this BMR Coilover doesn't have a front sway bar mount, but I do believe they're coming out with one that has a front sway bar mount, so keep an eye out for that. Look at that turning radius, looks like a drift car. That's only because I have all the arms unhooked. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Like I said, hopefully you guys just stay safe. Comment down below. I'll see you guys on the next one.
They got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money. My pressure be calling. Live on my blessings. I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection. I summon it, dummy.